So this is how I use PizzApp to establish how I do a Biga or a Poolish with a 2-day pre-ferment. So in this case, I've preset it for 4 dough balls at 280 grams each, 75% hydration, 3% salt, 4 hours room temperature leavening. This room is 21 degrees. Overnight in the fridge, 24 hours. I use active dry yeast. You can see the amounts here: 629 flour, 472 water, 19 grams of salt, 1.7 grams of yeast. It's already filled out here on this board that I got from Sheila Maker. I'll leave a link for that. It helps me out with figuring out how I distribute this. So it's set up in 2 parts. There's a Poolish and a Biga, both of which require 2-phase. It's an indirect dough, so it's 2 phases. We're talking about day 1 on the pre-ferment. So let's take Poolish to start. So Poolish. Poolish is 100% of the water, the equivalent amount of water in flour. So that in this case is 100% of the water, 472, the equivalent amount in the flour, 472, and then the yeast, 1.7. So on the second day, you put the remaining ingredients. So 629 of flour minus 472 from day 1 is 157 grams of flour and 19 grams of salt for the closure. Now that's how we do a Poolish, and there's many ways of doing Poolish, but this is the basic setup for your day 1 and your day 2. Let's take Biga, which is another way I use pre-ferments. So for Biga, it's the percentage of Biga is the percentage of the amount of flour. So let's take 80% of Biga, 80% of Biga. If you had 100% Biga, that would mean on day 2, all you added was water. This is blue because you only add water on the second day when you're making a Biga, or a non 100% Poolish, but we're using 100% Poolish. So back to this, the percentage of Biga is, so 80% of the flour, 629, 503. From 629, 126. For Biga, the water is half the amount of flour, so 503 divided by 2, 252. The remaining gets added later, so on day 2, so 472 water minus 252 from day 1 is 220. All the yeast, 1.7. All the salt on day 2. So that's how you set it up for a Biga. There are many ways of doing Biga or Poolish, but this is the basic setup, and that's how I use PizzApp for it.